Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Footy Talk, and I'm your host, Starry. Now we're focused on Tuesday night Champions League fixtures. Now I know there was supposed to be a showdown between Messi and Cristiano once again in Group G, but all the excitement was supposed to be on Group H, where Manchester United, Leipzig and PSG were arriving for that top 2 spot. And as expected, there was a lot of focus on it, but all for the wrong reasons. Stay tuned. Now while Manchester United was taking on Leipzig, PSG and Istanbul game was halted because there was apparently or allegedly racial abuse happening throughout the game. Now one of the member of staff from the Istanbul team claims that he was racially abused by one of the fourth officials. Now this is what the fourth official said or allegedly said. The black one over there, go and check who he is. The black one over there, it's not possible to act like that. No, apparently the referee came over to correct someone because someone was causing disruption on the sideline, which is very normal. And in order to identify him, that's what the fourth official said, identify him by using the color of his skin. Now, is this racism? I beg to differ, and this is why. There's about 20 plus players from each team on that bench. So that's about 40 plus players, plus officials, plus team management and staff members. I can assure you there's over 30 teams, 30 different nations represented in that small group. And I can bet you most of those players speak up to 2 or 3 different languages. So you're talking about 50 to 60, maybe even 70 different languages right in that particular group. Now, this is what people need to understand. Racism does exist in many parts of the world, but racism exists in different forms. Now, the racism in America is different from the racism in Romania, or the racism in England, or the racism in anywhere else in the world. It takes different forms. So, because somebody uses the word black, doesn't necessarily mean they're using the word black in a derogatory way. For example, in Jamaica, we use the word hush as some form of sympathy. If a baby falls down and pick it up and like, hush baby, don't cry. Sympathy, passion. Why here in America, the word hush is used as shut up, don't speak. It's a derogatory term. If somebody's going to identify you by the color of your skin, he's Romanian, doesn't necessarily mean, he didn't say the monkey boy or the banana eating pig. He didn't use any derogatory term, he used the word black, which you are black. So I beg to differ if that was actually racism. And again, I want to clear up a few things. They said that both teams left the field because they were protesting against the racial injustice that was happening. And that's not even true. Demba Ba was the one who was seen pointing out the racism or the alleged racism that took place. And he was encouraging his teammates to leave the pitch. If you can, I'm going to put the link of that video in the description. And you can watch. They didn't pick up themselves and say, oh, there were racial injustice, we are going to leave. He was encouraging his teammates to leave. So there was no unification in this situation. Yes, they did eventually leave the field. And if you can look in the video, the same video, I'm going to put the link in the description. You can see PSG staff member handing out jackets and coats to keep them warm because they knew how important the game was, because they wanted to go back and play on the field. They weren't interested in walking off. It was after Istanbul left the pitch and the referee said, well, the game, it looks like it's going to be postponed. They're going to take a 10 minutes break. That's when PSG left the field. There was not this big unification and this big collaboration like, okay, we're going to fight against racial justice, everybody down into the tunnel. There was none of that. If you can see PSG sporting director in the last part of that video, as I said, I'm going to put the description for, you can see him asking the referee, when are we going to come out back? Because they knew how important that game was for them to go through to the round of 16. Now we as black people have to be able to identify what kind of racism actually affects us. This is the type of racism that defeats black people. For example, I'm going to use Premier League as an example because it's the most watched league in the world. There's been over 240 managers in the Premier League. 240. There's only ever been 9 non-white managers in the Premier League. the race demographic in the Premier League as regards to player is 33% non-white. Now, there's only been 9 managers that's non-white in the Premier League. 7 of those managers were either promoted through the championship or caretakers. Only 2 of them were actually appointed at the beginning of the season. Less than 0.5% of the managers appointed in the Premier League were black. It was 2 out of 240. Now, check the backroom staff members. Check the equipment staff members. Check the assistant coach members. Check the medic. Check the referees. Mostly white people. Do you see any black people there? That's where the real racism exists in sport. The people who have the power, the people who have the opportunities. You don't see a lot of black people. That's what we should be fighting for, to get more black people in those positions. And you see less racism. The more of us in power, if you check even sporting directors, you really ever see the black people in those positions. But you're going to see black players. Why are you going to see black players? Because black players are basically the tools of the company. So they have to use the best that they have. So not because there's a white player and a black player there, they're going to use the one that's going to make them more money, the better player. So you're not going to see racism in that part and that context. But you're going to see it around the sport. Understand? That's what I'm trying to say. Let's focus on the racism that takes away our health and our wealth. And we as a people can actually move forward and be stronger going forward. It's been another episode of Foot Talk. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe. Respect.